Today we're running Google Ads for real estate leads. Let's begin. Hey, Time It. If we're just meeting, welcome to the channel that brings actionable content to grow your business through online marketing. So if that sounds beneficial, consider subscribing. Question of the day, are you running Google Ads for real estate leads? Let me know in the comment section down below. All right, so the first thing we want to do is look at the opportunity. What are we even talking about when we say Google Ads? Well, at this point, I am certain that you know what Google is, which is a search engine. But with Google Ads, what most people don't know is that you as a real estate agent, you have the ability to advertise on Google search and be at the very top of the search results. So imagine how powerful it is whenever you show up first before any other agent out there, including competing brokerages. And I'll show you that strategy in a few seconds. So let's just say somebody is in your area and is typing Realtor near me. They type that into the search engine, and then Dave Ramsey's going to show up first saying most agents suck. So that's Dave Ramsey, guys, not me. Ours don't. No average agents here. Well, based off of his program. Anyway, so in case you're with the Dave Ramsey group, let me not go down that path. Let's continue on the on what we're doing. So you see here, there's an ad, there's an ad, there's an ad, there's an ad. Depending on when you're watching this video, this is going to be presented a little bit different. So over the past 2-3 years, Google Ads has been changing drastically on how they actually present their ads. In the past, it was very pronounced that they had like a tanned box at the top 4 searches that denoted that they were ads. And then they did away with the box, and everything was, they did such a good job of masking that it was an ad to where they were actually getting called out. Hey, you're not making it very evident that this is an ad. So now you're starting to see that it's presented a little bit different. So depending on when you watch this video, it's gonna look a little bit different. But don't be alarmed or anything else like that, because the opportunity is still here. So if it's a highly searched term, know that there's gonna be 4 search results at the very top and then 3 results at the very bottom. So that's your first page of Google. If you go to the second page of Google, dependent on its search volume or the competition of people buying these keywords, you're also going to have 4 at the top and then 3 at the bottom. So again, depending on the competition, the amount of search volume, and as you can tell, this Realtor near me is going to be a coveted search term. Now, something that you might be seeing on the screen that you may not see on yours are the search volume here and then related keywords over here. This is a plugin that you have access to as well. It's called Keywords Everywhere. It used to be a free extension, but now that's no longer the case. You have to pay, it's a nominal fee. I don't even remember what it is, but you have to pay a certain amount to have these searches show up on your screen. And I paid once when it became monetized, or whenever they started charging, and I think it was in October of 2019. I've paid for it once and haven't needed to pay for it again. And I think it was like 10 bucks. So it's well worth it. As you can see here, we see some related websites. You see, let's say Realtor.com, PA, houses for sale near me, Realtor.com app. And then it gives you the search volume, the cost per click, and the competition. The competition is from 0.00 up to 1, so it's 0 to 1. But I'll show you what that looks like in a little bit. I just wanted to explain this extension, which most folks aren't going to have it. So if you want that extension, go ahead and check that out. I'll link it down below. It's not an affiliate link, so check it out at your leisure. What's most important for me to show you on the screen right now is the opportunity where you're gonna show up first, and then you're gonna have the map in which you can actually advertise here in the map as well. And then you have the organic results. And as you can see, the organic results are dominated by Realtor.com. And as we know, Realtor.com has a ton of money. So if we want to compete against Realtor.com, we're not going to compete against them in an organic sense. We can, but we don't need to. So as you can see here, Realtor.com, and let's say best real estate agent in, let's go San Antonio. Let's see what shows up. You see Homelight, you see effective agents, you see Dave Ramsey again, Agent Pronto. And then you see the search results on Google Maps. And then you have Yelp, Property Spark, Real Estate US. So you don't have a real, maybe this one, KW San Antonio. So KW San Antonio, you don't really have a real estate agent. Either it's a single, a team, or a smaller brokerage. You don't see an agent stand out here. So the opportunity is ripe. And as you can see, the search volume, 50 per month isn't bad. The competition is high. The cost per click is relatively high, but I'll show you what those numbers mean in a little bit. I just wanted to show you the opportunity. So now that we know what we're up against, let's create a Google Ads account. To get to this screen, all you have to do is Google create Google Ads account, and it's going to take you to the spot right here. Now, I already have several ad accounts going, so I'm going to create one for our video, and then I'll actually delete that part as well. I just want to show you how to actually create the Google Ads account, because it's a little bit confusing if you go down the wrong path, and I'll show you what that looks like. We're going to create a new Google Ads account, and it's going to do its thing. It's going to give me a new number and everything else up here. Now, it's going to prompt you to create a campaign from scratch, and I'm going to suggest that you don't do this. This used to be called Google Ads Express. Now, I don't necessarily know what it's called, but what's important to us at this juncture is to go and switch to expert mode. Right here, it's going to guide you through it, but one, I don't like it. Two, it limits you when it comes to creating audiences, when it comes to retargeting, essentially it's the easy button, if you will, but it's not the most effective button. So if you already created your first ad, just know that, and you didn't go to the expert mode, just know that you're in the, what was formerly known as Google Ads Express. I don't know what it's called right now, but, so that's why your display looks a little bit different than mine if you've seen any of my other videos. So we're gonna switch to the expert mode. And this looks familiar to you if you've seen any of my other videos. So in the expert mode, you get a few more options on how to actually create your campaign. When you're asked to select a goal, it's nothing more than a campaign type. And what this does, once you select a goal, it's gonna slot you into a template on the back end. So if you're looking for sales, it's gonna give you the template to generate sales. If you go with leads, it's gonna give you the template to generate sales. Now, funny story, these top three are basically the same. Although it says, hey, do sales, do leads, do website traffic, when you select these goals, most of them are gonna go to the exact same template. So yes, it looks pretty cool and it looks fancy. Oh, it's so easy. I just gotta go to leads and I get leads. Well, yes and no. It essentially points you to the same screen or template on the back end. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a campaign without a goals guidance. So we are not selecting one of these goals because I want the most possible options to select from. So we're gonna go and create our a campaign without goals guidance, and we're gonna go to search. That is what we just looked at. Remember, when we were on Google and typing realtor near me or best real estate agent in San Antonio, we were doing search. And this is what we're doing right here. Create text or call ads that show near search results or of google.com on Google search partner sites and more. So what's most important for us right now is google.com. That's what we're after. So we're gonna click on search, and then we're gonna select the results you want to get from this campaign. Do you want more website visitors? Do you want phone calls? Do you want app downloads? We're gonna go with website visits, and we're not even gonna, well, let's go ahead and do it. So you see EchoRealAdvisors.com. I'm gonna put my website. Technically, you don't have to do it. What this is gonna do is gonna help you at the keyword selection, but we'll just select it for now. All right, and now we're on our way to creating our campaign. We have the campaign settings, we have the ad groups, we have the creating the ads, and then the billing. Since this is a new account, chances are that I will have to input my credit card, which is not a big deal. But if you already have your credit card set up, then it's not gonna matter. One quick favor before continuing, please be sure to hit the like button so this video's reach is magnified and others benefit. Also, don't forget to check out my free courses, link in description. For our purposes today, we're not gonna worry about our campaign name. What I do suggest whenever you're naming the campaigns is to make it identifiable to you. Don't just leave this as search 1, search 2, search 3, search 4, because every time that you create a campaign, it's gonna add to that number. Don't leave it like that. Don't leave it at the default, because when you come back and look at the reports, you want to know what's working and what's not working. So what I highly suggest is you make this as identifiable as possible, because it's going to make your job much easier. Instead of taking an hour to review all of your campaigns, it can take as little as 5 minutes when you make adjustments if you know what type of campaign is being run, what type of ad groups are being targeted, and the ad that you're advertising. So just be aware of that. There's a campaign name, search network, and display network. So the network part, that's the giveaway. When it says network, it means beyond Google. So what I suggest is, unless you're doing a retargeting campaign or a retargeting ad, to take these out, because those are going to be a money pit for you. Here, it's common to think, and I used to fall under this, I thought that this was the search, but it's not. So when I read a little bit closer, ads can appear near Google search results and other Google sites when people search for terms that are relevant to your keywords. When I read a little bit closer, I found out, oh, whoa, this isn't the search as we thought, as what we just saw. So just be aware of that. We're gonna unselect that. When you go to more settings, you're gonna have the start and end dates, so you can select that there. I typically don't select an end date. I come in here every single day and I adjust whatever I need to adjust. Campaign URL options, which is tracking. So if you know how to track your conversions, I highly suggest that you start using the template so you know where your leads are coming from or where your results are coming from. That's beyond the scope of our video today. Just know that that's where it is today. It used to be over at the ad side. So that is a change that has happened. It's been 2 years, so it's not recent. Dynamic search ads. You enter a domain and you have the ability to create dynamic search ads. So here, dynamic target relevant searches automatically based on your website, then use headlines automatically customized to people's actual searches. So you know, whenever you type in, whenever we were typing in, it said San Antonio, it said Burleson, it said wherever we were targeting in our search, the city would automatically come up. Well, that's what dynamic search ads are. They'll dynamically show up without you having to embed everything else. It's going to take keywords of your website and have them show up in your ad. It's a cool ad. We're not going to get into that today. My goal today is to reduce the friction of you starting. So just know that that's where you go to create the same type of ads that the Dave Ramseys of the world are creating, the Zillows of the world, the Realtors of the world. Those individuals are running. All right, when it comes to targeting, we are going to go to add another location. We're going to go to advanced search and we're going to go to radius. So I think we were in San Antonio, so we'll stick there. So San Antonio, we have a 20-mile radius, as you can see there. You can also pin where you want to go. And there you go. So you can adjust how many miles and all that fun stuff. So we're going to save it just for our purposes today. And something super important here is people in or who show interest in your targeted locations versus people in or regularly in your targeted locations. If you're after home sellers, then this is very important for you. People in or regularly in your target location. So this means people that are actually there. If you're after buyers, then you can get away with including that as well, because there are a lot of people migrating to San Antonio. There's a lot of people migrating to Texas just in general. So if you're in the relocation business, if you're in the business of helping people relocate, then this is the targeting that you might want to pursue, because when it says people who show interest in, well, there may be somebody over in New York that is showing interest in San Antonio, so they would be prompted your ads. So just be aware of that. And then you can exclude people in in certain locations that you don't want to advertise in. So it's very targeted. And then you have the languages, so not much to talk about there. And then you have your audiences. We'll check out the audiences real quick. We have who they are, so essentially their demographics. When you click here, you see their parental status, marital status, education, home ownership status. It's pretty cool, right? Home ownership status. So we can select homeowners. And only people that are homeowners are going to be getting this ad. And we'll add some keywords on the back end so you see what that looks like. All right, so let's go to browse again. And then you see what their interests are. So on Google Ads words, it's called affinity. So whatever they're interested in, what they're typically searching for. So if you click here, you see bank and finance, shoppers, sports, fitness, all that fun stuff. So what they're regularly interested in, you have the ability to target those people. You have the ability to target people that are actively researching or planning, so they're in market for a purchase. And if you scroll down to the real estate section, you see there's commercial properties. You can even drill down even more for rent or for sale. And then residential properties, rent or for sale. You can drill down even closer. Apartments for sale, houses for sale. You can even go down even more. And then pre-owned houses or new houses. So you can select that of people that are in market for a purchase for new homes. How cool is that? So again, this is all of the data that they have, since Google pretty much dominates everything online. So they have all of this information on people and their search patterns. Yes, including you. You are being tracked. You are being placed in these buckets. So just be aware of that. I'm sure you knew that, but just a reminder. And then how they have interacted with your business in the past. So this is that remarketing that I was talking about earlier. And that's why I suggest that you go into expert mode, because it's going to take you a lot farther in your advertising capabilities, rather than sticking to again, I keep calling it Google Express because that's what it used to be called. I don't know what it's called today, but just know that that's the cookie cutter version. I don't want you on that. I want you on the expert mode, because there's a lot more things that you can do with it. All right, and then combined audiences. You can combine audiences from up here. All right, for our purposes today, we're actually gonna leave, what are we doing? We're doing San Antonio and we're doing real estate leads. So let's just say these are homeowners and they are looking for new houses. How about that? We'll do that. All right, we're gonna keep going. Don't worry about this one right here. It doesn't make much difference. Budget and bidding. So we have our budget. We're going to stay in dollars. How much do we want to spend per day? We're going to say $50 per day. For the month, you won't pay more than your daily budget. Budget times the average number of days in the month. Some days you might spend less than your daily budget, and other days you might spend twice as much. Yes, that is super true. Don't be alarmed whenever you're on your second day in and you've already spent $200. Don't be alarmed. It happens. But at the end of the 30 days, you will have averaged out to this amount. So it's not a cap, it's an average. Just be aware of that. Bidding, what do you want to focus on? Do you want to focus on clicks or impression share? So since this is a brand new ad, it doesn't even give us the option of conversions because this is a brand new ad account. We're going to focus on clicks. Conversions, once we create the ad, you'll see what conversions are. But we're going to focus on clicks. Ideally, yes, you want to focus on conversions. And I'll make sure to link a video at the end screen to show you how to actually create conversions to where you're able to track what's actually converting for you. All right, and then we're going to go to show more settings. And then you have the conversions right here. So you are not currently tracking conversions for this account. We can help monitor your account, blah, blah, blah. New account, makes sense. Ad schedule, you can select when you want your ads on and when you want them off. And then the ad rotation, optimize for best performing ads. That's what I suggest that you do. All right, so now let's talk ad extensions. We have get up to 15% higher click-through rate by showing additional information on your ads. They're actually underselling it. ad extensions are super important. So I suggest that you add them to all of your campaigns. They help you out so much more because it gives you additional real estate to work with, pun intended. It gives you so much room whenever you're searching. So whenever somebody clicks best real estate agent near me, not only are they going to get the title and the description, but they're also going to get some links as well in the searches. So whenever you go with site link extensions, add links to your ad. So when you click there, we're going to create a new site link extension. You have the option to create 4 right off the bat, which there are 4 slots for site link extensions. So you would just put find value of home today, and then do you know what your home is worth? Home value it, or let's go free CMA. And then you would just put the URL right there. And so you would go and create that, then another one, then another one. So they're gonna show up in 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's just see if any of these have them. So right there, you have some additional links. So these are site link extensions. Now, depending on the competition, not all of them, they're not always going to show up, but most of the time they will. So just know that. So these are site link extensions because when you click on their ads, it'll actually take you to different parts of their website. Now, it doesn't have to. And I think what I'm seeing right here is it actually sends them to the same website. So there's no law that you have to use a different URL. So you can actually use the same URL, but different selling proposition. All right, so I'm just gonna cancel that right now so we don't spend too much time there. The call out extension, add more information about your ad. This one is not a link, but it does place emphasis on what you want to call out, what you want to be known for. Let's just say if you're somebody that sells in certain neighborhoods, you can put certain neighborhoods in these call out texts. It's not going to send them to any links or any URL, but it shows some additional expertise on your part, and it gives an additional, again, real estate to your actual ad. We're not going to fill those out, but just know that you have options to include 4 of them. And then the call extension, that's where you add your phone number. So you can create a ad that has your phone number, and your phone number is going to show right there. Or you can do one that is tracked, which means that it will actually use one of Google's number and then patch over to your phone. But that way you're able to track what is working and what isn't. And then there's some other types of ad extensions. These aren't used as much. Experiment with them as much as you want. But for our purposes, we're going to stick to the top 3. Because outside of those, I don't necessarily go to any others. All right, we're going to go to save and continue. Now we get to the part where we have keywords, or we get to place some keywords. Remember when I placed the URL over here at the beginning of the campaign, I put in my website. Now it's giving me some suggested keywords. So if these make sense, I will include them. Or if I just want to say real estate agent San Antonio, it's going to give me some keywords. So Realtor San Antonio real estate, houses for sale in San Antonio, homes for sale in San Antonio, well, actually these don't make sense if we're selling. So find a real estate agent. So these, remember, you already geographically bound where these searches are coming from and that where they live. So also, they're homeowners. Also, they're looking for new homes. They're in market for a new home. So whenever they're typing in something like find a real estate agent, then that's not the off the street an individual. This is somebody that is highly qualified, or at least has the demographics that are highly qualified to for a real estate transaction. So just keep that in mind, especially if you're looking for seller leads. This is how you would go about in doing that. So top realtors in San Antonio, that's something that a seller might be searching for. Let's see. Sell my house. real estate. Just getting some additional ideas. Sell my house. Sell my house online. So you could do the express offers there. How do I sell my house? So these are fine. Let's just go into matching based off of broad match, phrase match, and exact match. So broad match is exactly what we just placed here. That means if anybody types a derivative of this, how do I sell my house? Your ad has the potential of showing up, assuming that you win out in the auction. And that a lot of it has to do with the budget, which $50, that is that's a good budget. That's a good budget depending on what your targeting is. All right, so that's a broad match, how do I sell my house? As long as a search looks something similar to that, your ad has the potential of showing up. Now, if you type in a phrase match, what this is gonna say is only show up if this phrase is matched. So if somebody types in, how do I sell my house in San Antonio, then your ad would show up because it includes this phrase. And then you have the exact match. The exact match is through brackets right there. So unless somebody types this specifically, well, let me rephrase that. If somebody types in this specifically, then your ad is going to show up. If they don't, then it's not. It's that simple. And then we could get into broad match modifier, but we won't. You can just go to learn more and figure out what that is. But it's not as useful as it used to be. So we're just going to stick with the top three. All right, so we would go save and continue. Now we get to the part where we're actually creating the ad. Now we've come through and selected our campaign. We set up the ad group, and now we're about to set up our campaigns. So here we have the final URL. If you want to drive them directly to your website, which this is a good time for me to pause and say, don't do that. Send people to a landing page, send people to a squeeze page or some website that is optimized to capture attention instantly. Now, websites are fantastic. They are the digital business card for yourself. However, websites are not all, the traditional websites are not always optimized for that type of for this type of pay-per-click. Websites are good to share your information and more about what you do, where you service, and things of that nature. But whenever you're creating ads, you want to get to the root of it quickly. So you want to create some landing pages that give you the best possible footing as possible and gives them the opportunity to give you their information as quickly as possible. So whatever ad you create here, make sure that your landing page matches it. So if you're offering a list of homes under $500,000 in a certain area because you created that through your ad group, so in your keywords, then make sure that your ad is on point and also you have a landing page that supports that. You've done a lot of filtering up until now, so don't trip up on your URL. Don't trip up on where you're driving the traffic because that's the part that actually converts people. So just be aware of that. All right, so what we're gonna say is need to sell home fast, instant offer. We'll just go with that. Let's just say they're wanting to sell, and then you have either an institutional buyer, you have investors out there that want to purchase, and that's what you're calling out. So you have 3 headlines to work with. The display path, it doesn't mean anything. It's a phantom URL. So what you can say is San Antonio. Sell fast. It doesn't mean anything. It's just it's a phantom URL. You don't have to actually have that URL anywhere else. This just shows a little bit better rather than just having your URL right there. And then on the description, whatever you're wanting to advertise, let's just say, trust the experts. Sell your home fast. Get the highest possible price. Something to that effect. You would complement it with another description. You would go to done, save and continue. And that's where you would put in your contact information or your payment information, which I'm actually not gonna do right now. But that's all it takes to create your Google Ads and start generating real estate leads. Well, now you know how to run Google Ads for real estate leads. If you wanna learn how to use conversions with Google Ads so you're able to track your results on Google, then you're gonna wanna check out this video right here. And if you found value today, please be sure to subscribe so we can talk again soon.